I'm Bill Anjo, more commonly called Mr. Red. I am from Canada. I'm about an hour's north of Toronto. And my interests are the medieval age. What we have here, the major display, is of a monastic island that's actually based on an amalgam of two islands in the Irish Sea. And my big interest is how the monastic system worked, not as a religious system, but as a commercial system. In this particular island, we have goats who give the cheese, which in this particular island, it was a very nice cheese, apparently, according to history. And, you know, how they would live on an isolated island, especially since there's only 6 feet of shore and it's only safe to land at low tide. So this is the basics of it. It has moving monks, moving ship, and the basic elements of the community. Starting here, we have the fish, a monk fishing with a net off to the side, and the 2 small boats. That's the largest boat you really can get onto the island. So the poor Vikings who are trying to land, they would rip their hull open, wide open. We do have a sundial here that helps to orient you as far as the island is. East will have the chapel always, west the barn and a few other. This is the dormitory, and we have it over the interior and the other. This is the frater, which is a eating place, really. Across from there is the big scriptorium, which works out quite well for them, because when the goats get too old, they skin them and use the skin as parchment to create books. Yeah. Because in those days you had to write it, you couldn't print it. The other 3 small buildings is the creamery, the cellar, and the chapel. And the chapel and the cellar are also exposed for the inside. Okay. And that's the basics of the island. The boat itself is a dragger. It's a raiding boat. That's where we get the word dragon boat from. And it has a crew anywhere from 2 to 3 dozen people. And most people say, well, where's their food? That's the whole incentive. You have to raid somewhere to get the food. It's a lot of fun to do, but also people say, well, wait a second, don't they have too many people to row? No. The idea is you have 14 people rowing, and then when they get tired, another 14 can step in and row, and they have a few extras in case someone gets a Charlie horse, so to speak. Although I don't know what it is when they come to the arms. But it never was everybody rowing at the same time. It was always one crew, then switch. So no one ever got tired. Unfortunately, mine's sailing. Okay, do you want to go to the...
Yeah, we'll go over here now then.
Burg Honeck is a very important fort. What you see here, the beige part does not exist anymore. It was probably wood or daub and wattle construction. The gray still exists, and it's on the top of an extinct volcano. They actually chipped out the rock to build the solid walls around it. Wow. And this is important for one reason. It guards 2 roads. A north-south road that's called the Salt Road, because the salt comes from the south of Germany and goes to the north. The east-west road is even stranger in that it really starts in Santiago de Compostela in Spain. And it's a pilgrimage road. It goes past Burg Honeck and keeps on going till the Black Sea. Now, most people would cross somewhere in the Dardanelles or the Bosphorus across that way. No. This heritage road goes around the Black Sea the long way and goes and approaches Jerusalem from the east in the same path as the Magi of the Christmas story. And this item is, I believe it's in Gaelic, it says bell tower, but more commonly known as the Irish round tower. One of the hardest things to do in Lego is build something in a circle. And I use this piece. Probably everybody's got tons of these and doesn't know how to use them. But if you use them in its opposition to a flat piece of 2x4, you can make a nice, smooth, round circle. And if you feel the inside, it's nice and smooth. It's a little rough on the outside, but it gives you a nice, solid, round tower. As someone said, it's like a cannon. I thought, okay, that's interesting. I never thought of it that way, but that's the gist of it.
Yeah, that's really neat there. I always enjoy the round builds with Lego because obviously that's going to be harder with the square blocks, so it's really cool.
Oh, my thing is that I got hung up on Irish round towers, and how can I do that? By the way, they're not a bell tower because evidence shows that the roof was just sort of a roof that was laid on. A tower for sighting. Well, there's no other towers within, of the 52, there's no other towers that you would see from a tower.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's not it. The signaling tower still doesn't work. A refuge from raiding Vikings. There's a problem. There's no door jam. There's a door, but there's no evidence that there was ever a door there.
Okay.
Same with the windows. They're all open. There was never anything there for windows. Some have even gone to the fact of saying it's a weak tower, it's a silo. And I'm going, yes, and you're going to have the wide open windows. In comes the crows, boy. They're going to have a feast. To get from floor to floor, you have to take the ladder from the front door and carry it in, go up one floor, pick it up again, and go to the next one. So it's a lot of labor to get to the top. Most of the towers today that are still connected, they've already put ladders in, so you don't have to do it yourself. But there are some that you can get a good aspect. You walk up the first set and then okay, 100 feet up. That's a lot of grain. I don't think so. Especially since I'm sure it would be falling out the windows. So we really don't know the real reason. And some people still insist that it's a bell tower. And I keep saying, if that's the bell tower, then what's that bell tower over there? A smaller version right beside the church. By the way, bell towers were never built with the church. They were always built separately because they figured the vibrations from the bells might shake the church apart. Tallest one would be about that high.
Right here behind?
I'm going, and that's a pretty hefty load. I mean,
Running the water.
Go ahead. Feel the weight of that.
Oh, wow, yeah. It's heavy.
Yeah.
You need to put a magnet in each piece. The magnet that goes in this particular round hole is very hard to put in. Because air is in behind, you can't just force it in. So the trick is get the right size earth magnet, set the piece on top of it, walk away, and about 2 minutes later, air's come out and it's pulled the magnet in. But magnets without something more just isn't going to work. So there is the piece that really makes it work. So this first magnet is meant to pick up this piece. That keeps my pattern in place. When I demonstrate to kids, I'm putting the top back on. I'm not always sure where all the magnets are, so it will always keep the goat in front of the monk. This is a worm screw drive. It's run through electricity, but the technique requires you to use their battery pack. Even though there's no batteries in it, it needs to be part of it. So the only moving piece is really this. And as that moves, because of the track, it just keeps everything going. These pegs in this is to keep the top the right distance from these magnets because you don't want them to connect them behind. That will stop it. So that's how the magic works.
Okay, that's very interesting. Thanks for showing that to us.
You're welcome. And now we'll see what happens. Okay, that means that one's got to be somewhere over this way.
There you go.
As I don't know, if the magnet for the goat had come through first, it would have just moved the monk to the side and then picked up the goat.